Yes, look at those classic guitars, and look at that classic guy back there, Stan Hitchcock. How you doing, Stan?
Class act. Wave to us.
Be careful. Be careful now. Don't be yawning or anything back there.
Spotlight's on you, man.
Stan, you were out there talking weather with Craig, right? Yeah. It had a thunderstorm around 3 o'clock at Stan's. What are you doing up at 3 in the morning? What were you doing up at 3?
I tell you what, I was trying to get my body working again.
Okay. He was trying to get cranked.
You have to get an early start to get that, you know.
We're going to visit with Stan about his book in just a minute. Craig, you've already been visiting with he's like your weather forecasting buddy.
You know, and I think he's spot on with that, because as I was driving in at 3 a.m., I also saw lightning. So there is something going on out there, Craig.
Yeah. You know, Stan told me he enjoys my weather some of the time.
He's honest, yeah.
That's true, that's true.
Well, if anyone knows the history of Nashville's Music Row better than anyone else around, is this guy.
Here he is. Stan Hitchcock is here this morning with tales of his experience in the country music business, which he's put in here, Music Row and Memory Lane, at the corner of, as they say.
Yeah, at the corner of.
How you feeling, partner?
I'll tell you what, I've got to say before we start, that what you guys are doing right here in this room is what television should always be, but unfortunately it's just about died out. And that is live action television in a particular community, particularly our community that has a music community. I love what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, the key is it's local, and you know all about that because you spent several years on TV. It was at WLAC TV, you know, it's Channel 5, but it was LAC TV at that point, right? What years were you on the air in the mornings over there?
64 to 68 or 69, but in that period of time also, that was the early morning show from 6 to 8. But then at 66, they developed a nationwide show, the Stan Hitchcock Show. Same thing out of Channel 5. And I forgot how hard it is to get up this age and look halfway decent to the good friends and neighbors that are getting ready for work.
People don't realize that you don't get up looking this way. You know,
I mean, there is a certain art to the opera swoop hairstyle. I mean, it's just
you guys have it down to a fine art.
Mine won't swoop no more. I just it does the best.
I'm impressed that you were up at 3 a.m.
Well, my wife, I tell you, I had to take my wife to the airport. She was at the airport at 5 o'clock. She has a family emergency with a medical problem with her father in Wisconsin, so she had to fly out, or she'd been here with me. So it was raining cats and dogs.
Oh, wow.
And I had worked on my swoop, but I walked out and hit that water, and it just
frizzy, just frizzy. Hey, let me go back to the television thing a minute, since we were talking about that. At that point, there was a little feud going on because, you know, Emery was doing his show, or Channel 4. You had your show at Channel 5. Now, if you wanted to be on WSM or the Grand Ole Opry, you could not be seen appearing on your show on Channel 5.
It was very tight. It was very tight. And it was actually, it was called, the morning show was called Country Junction. Eddie Hill was the wonderful communicator of country music. And I was the vocalist and co-host. And it wasn't Ralph and us. It was 2 insurance companies.
They didn't realize that. They thought it was the TV stations or the hosts going after each other.
We were all friends.
Well, sure, because it was Life and Casualty, which owned Channel 5, and National Life and Accident, which owned Channel 4.
And see, the feud started in radio.
It was insurance.
Started in radio years before with the Opry and with LAC. You know, booming across the country with different types of music, and they were deadly competitors. And then when television started, Channel WSM and WLAC, it continued. And you know, but it was the people themselves behind the scenes all loved each other. We did, you know, we'd call each other, you know, just. And Ralph and I were great friends, still are, and all the people out there. So it wasn't a personal level; it was the insurance companies.
Got it.
Because the Opry, let's face it, the Opry started to sell insurance.
No, we shield millions is what WSM
and their salespeople would go around and give tickets to the Opry. They'd do door to door selling insurance, and you know, here's a
ticket.
Here's a ticket to the Grand Ole Opry. That's right.
Well, you were around for the start of many great things, including Tammy Wynette's career, right?
I was one of the first artists signed to Epic Records. I had a Columbia record contract, and they had just started up Epic Records, and I was the first country artist on there. And I was in Billy Sherrill. Billy Sherrill was my producer. I was in his office there on 16th, and we were doing an album, and going over songs for an album. And I came in his office, and there was a real thin, kind of stringy-headed blonde sitting there, very shy, didn't say a word, holding a tape box. And I walked by, went on in, and and I thought she was just visiting with the receptionist or something. And so Billy and I worked on my album for a couple of 3 hours, and I got up and go to the bathroom, passed by, she's still sitting there.
Aww.
And so I come back in, and I said, Billy, who's that girl out there? He said, I don't know, she's somebody that came in from Alabama. She wanted me to hear a song. So he said, let's call her in. She came in, didn't say a word, just handed the tape, the old 7.5-inch tape, handed it to Billy.
Reel to reel.
He threaded it on to reel, and hit the button, and that voice come out of that song.
What song was it?
Just Follow the Stairway, apartment number 9.
Really? That's what you heard first time?
She had a demo of it.
Now, Sherrill was kind of tough, and he was rather shy. What kind of reaction did you get out of him? Because he always had a poker face,
He was an absolute master at poker face. Probably still is. I haven't seen Billy lately, but his eyes just, because how could you not?
Right.
I know
That voice was there, just like it.
Hey, listen, if you're a country music fan, this is the kind of book you want to pick up and read. It's not full of gossip. It's full of facts. This man was there. He lived it. Let me take this opportunity to say, on behalf of everybody in country music, thank you for what you did, because you were there to help lay the foundation of what is happening today, making it a worldwide phenomenon. And we appreciate what you do, Stan.
We don't want to forget the pioneers and the legends in the 40s and 50s and 60s. They were so giving to young artists like myself coming to town. The Roy Acuffs and the Tubbs and all the Bill Monroes. They were so genuinely helpful when you came into town and had a song in your heart and a dream to make it.
Stan, can you pick this up at bookstores everywhere, I guess?
You can get it at Ernest Tubb Record Shop. In fact, this afternoon we're going to be down there signing, doing a signing.
A book release party.
Yep.
You'll be down there doing all the activities, so stop by and see Stan Hitchcock right down there.
Pick up a copy of the book.
The man possesses a name that Marty Robbins said sounds like a gunslinger. I've been reading your book here, Stan. Stan, it's good to see you. Thanks for conjuring up a bunch of memories for us.
Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, bye.